Welcome to the Seek Outside podcast.
And you think that's bad? You see Ryan on the phone in the office.
Some people are just wired that way.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Seek Outside podcast. Today is Wednesday, September 24th, and it's it's Thursday, September 25th. It's a Thursday. We're doing it on Thursday, but it is officially fall. A little bit late, yeah. We were busy last week. I was elk hunting. You got a little bit under the weather the last couple days, so between me catching up on stuff from last week, all the 3 emails that I missed, and you being under the weather, we decided to push it back a day. So thank you guys for joining us. Hopefully you guys are getting into the fall. It's beautiful weather. As you can tell, there's a discrepancy between what we're wearing, but it is like you're dressed for the middle of the day. I'm dressed for the morning.
Yeah.
We got to just kind of combine for next time.
That is true.
To get the perfect outfit.
I'll wear this in the winter, though.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah.
Full flip-flops in the winter.
Kind of a mountain town boy, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's, what was it in your house today? It was 44 degrees.
Not in my house. That would be lethal.
At your house.
At my house, yeah. 44.
44 in the morning. It's getting up to 70. It's brisk.
Yeah.
When I was elk hunting last weekend, we were up at 10:05. Camp, freezing every morning.
It was freezing. It was freezing where I was camping.
Yeah,
too. 9-7. It's cold.
Yeah, it was. Where I was at, it snowed on all the 12, 13,000 feet peaks 3 or 4 times.
Yeah,
over the course while I was there, which was wild. And there was some snow that stuck for that's probably going to be there till next July.
It's crazy.
So
yeah.
It is here. It's all happening. Best time of the year. Today, we got some fun stuff for you. What we're primarily going to talk about is, our last episode, we kind of did a deep dive on our shelters.
Yeah.
Got some good feedback on that. It seemed like, a lot of people were very interested in the hot tents and kind of some of the features that we described. So this go around, since it is becoming true hot tent season, the rifle seasons are coming around. Some of the winter camping is right around the corner.
Yes, sir.
We are going to go over, we each picked 5 to 7 of our best hot tips or just essential skills to have when you're winter backpacking, winter camping, hot tent camping, all that. Essentially just cold weather tips for when you're camping. So we're going to cover those. I don't know. Do we have anything else that we've got to hit before we dive into that?
No, that's about it.
Yeah. I do want to. I don't know if I should say this. I'll just leave it at this. On my trip last week, I was in a specific mountain town, and some of the, there are certain mountain towns, I'm sure this happens across the West, where the townies are just about some of the worst people out there. They're not super fun to hang out. And, they're not. It's like the dichotomy in some of these mountain towns of people that move there that don't really know how to act in the outdoors. They're
or give back to their community.
Yeah, they kind of just take it over.
Yep.
They take over some of the best cities in Colorado and just turn them into whether it's people just freaking trashing the streets or just being super loud. It just kind of messes up the vibe.
Yeah.
So I want just, if you're out there, be aware when you're in a cozy little mountain town. Let's keep it that way. That's the best part. That's the best part about Colorado is cozy mountain towns in the fall.
Yeah.
I want it to be quiet. I don't want to, If you're trying to party and go hard at bars, take that to the Front Range. Keep it off of our side of the state here.
Yeah.
No, I'm glad I almost said the name of the city, but I'm not going to do that because, I'm partially joking. But anyway, so your yearly reminder to be respectful of the towns that you get into, that you're staying at this time of year. So
Definitely.
All right, cool, man. Well, hot tent season.
Hot tent season. I was hot tenting this weekend.
Yeah.
Stove on. All the fire bans are lifted because now it's wet and cold.
Mm-hmm.
You hot tenting all week.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just every year I get reminded at how clutch it is. And we might have talked about this a little bit last podcast, but you're especially on these longer trips, the 5-7 week long trips that you're hunting and you're burning
7 week long?
5 to 7 day to week long.
5 to week long.
5 week long hunting trips. Yeah. I wish, man. I wish. I don't think I'd come back to a job, but
no.
I think like the comforts and just mastering your camping skills and knowing like, developing systems. Like if you're camping for a weekend, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you're just going for a night, 2 nights, you have a lot. Like you can be a little bit sloppier with both like how you set things up, like
you'll be more miserable.
Yeah, you can suffer through it. When you're there for a week, 5 days, you got to have a pretty dialed system. And every time I drive by, people, especially up at 11,000 feet this time of year, that are camping in a little half dome, props to you.
Tougher than I.
Very tough.
It's because they don't know yet.
They don't know.
No.
And, a lot of times you'll see them, like, if you drive by at night, they'll be, like, sitting in their car, getting heat. But all that is to say that, just having a good, comfortable camp, it changes the game. It keeps you out there.
It's about morale, dude. It's always about morale. Like, being able to get dry and warm. Like, dude, this weekend we did a huge day of single track moto, 10 to 13,000 foot high, and just I don't know if anybody has ridden moto properly, but it is probably the hardest thing I've ever done. Like that many miles of getting stuck, tipping over, climbing up stuff. Like my forearms, it's day 4 back, and my forearms are just in pain. They're constantly swollen. But you get real sweaty up high. We came back. We were car camped. But that stove was game changer for me.
Yeah.
Because I'm sweaty. I'm miserable. I'm tired. I go set up, get the stove going. Yeah. Morale boosted.
Definitely. Yeah. Before we dive into our top 10, we each came with 5. But I kind of want to just hit on some things that some refreshers from my week-long trip that I didn't include in my hot tips here, but I think they can be very, very much hot tips.
The rapid fire hot tip round?
Yeah, just like some things while it's fresh in my mind.
Yeah.
Exactly, yeah. So I was out in the courthouse. I had 2 cots. I basically just brought both of my cots, had one. I was mostly solo. My brother was up there for a little bit. My dad was up there for a day. But I brought the 2 cots, and I had one as just like a place to set gear.
Yeah.
Which was awesome. But that's my setup. I had the Big Mama stove. A couple things that were clutch to me. Number 1, it was raining. I've talked about this on the podcast before, but if you don't have a floor for your shelter and you want something cheap, easy, that you can just essentially destroy, a canvas drop tarp or a canvas painter's tarp. They make them like 10 by 10, sometimes 14 by 14. Especially in that courthouse, it fits the dimensions about perfectly. Yeah. You have a little space at the front to, keep your wet boots and gear. But that thing was awesome because you don't have to worry about it like getting wet. It'll get get a little bit damp if you get some water underneath there, but you just throw it in the wash when you get home. Throw the fire mat on top of there. I just love it, having a little bit of stuff under, not just stepping on bare ground when you're changing into different clothes, taking your socks off. Key. The other thing I brought that was awesome was like I know for a long time, if you like called in and talked to us, we like previously on our dampers on our stoves, there was like a little mesh screen. So it was a different material than what we use now for the spark arrestor. And we would recommend against doing the goos and like some of the non-natural fire starters.
Yeah.
Well, now that we have this different spark arrestor, I've been taking out, it's actually the stuff that they make for the solo stoves, like the pellet stoves, the fire starter for that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's, probably not the best backpacking, but if you got the car right there, that thing, I mean, you can douse a little bit of that goo on top of wet wood, hit it with a lighter, and it gets your fire going immediately. So
that's sick.
And just a really solid fire starter. And then the other thing that I wanted to talk about was just the difference. I had one camp with the courthouse, for anybody that doesn't know, or just to give you some context, it has a flap in the back that allows ventilation through there. It's like a big triangle that you can either keep down or keep up, depending on what the weather's like. The first spot that I had camped, just due to space, I was kind of in a logging area. I had that thing down. Condensation was 10x higher than my second camp, where I pitched that thing up so that the ventilation was working. That second place that I was camped, I had such little condensation. It was the same general conditions, just in terms of this time of year, condensation is pretty hard to avoid, but just an observation on how much ventilation can reduce condensation.
Yeah.
So
nice.
Those are kind of some of the things I wanted to hit before.
Little rapid fire hot tips.
Exactly.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, should we get into the big boy hot tips?
We should. Yeah.
All right. You want me to go first?
Yeah, hit it. So these are going to be, anything from,
hiking
clothes,
tips.
Hiking tips. Yeah, everything. And we encourage you guys to comment with yours too, because we're always looking for other hot tips.
Yeah. I mean, I want to call ourselves experts, but we certainly don't know everything. That's
for sure.
So we're always open to advice and to trying new things.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let me hit him with a real hot tip. I'm looking through my list, so give me a second.
Yeah, rank it. Do number one, your top.
My top one. Top one. All right, ready? Let's talk site selection. Now, we've talked about site selection in the way of condensation, which this also, coincides with. But site selection for warmth is a big tip that people do not talk about often. Looking at my notes. Let's see. So, I've had times where I set up in a valley, real low valley.
Mm-hmm.
Number one, that's already, condensation's going to come for you there. But you can have a 10 degree difference from there, like bottom of a valley, lowest point, versus 60 feet up the hill.
Yeah.
It's insane the temperature difference there can be.
Yeah.
You can see it in your truck while you're driving. If you have a temperature gauge on there, you can see maybe it's 50 degrees, you drop down, it's 43, you know? And that, on top of that, all the wind is coming down at night.
Mm-hmm.
Once it gets dark, it's going to all go into that valley, so it's going to be even more drafty. So what I recommend when you're looking for a site is, number one, stay away from water, at least 100 yards.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be a huge change for you.
Condensation, for sure.
Condensation. And it will be, humidity makes you feel colder.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be more humid. So if you're a little bit further away, it's going to be less humid, less condensation. On top of that, try and just be 50 vertical feet above the lowest point of the valley.
Yeah.
Even that is going to make a huge difference. If you can go a little bit higher, you're kind of trying to strike a balance, right? Of cover from weather, warmth, and, where you can find a comfortable campsite. Oftentimes those are in valleys. But you don't want to be up too high because then it will be colder. If you're 2,000 feet above the valley, it's probably going to be colder at night.
Yeah.
And then you're going to be way more exposed. So anyways, my hot tip is, site selection is huge. Remember that trip we went, we went on a trip to the archery show?
Mm-hmm. Yep,
and we camped in a courthouse by a waterfall. Now, you wouldn't believe that was the most condensation. Everything was wet.
Oh, yeah.
Outside, inside.
Soaked.
Yeah. And in the bottom of a valley. It was quite cold. I mean, it was June, maybe mid to late June. And it was cold, man.
We fired up the stove.
Yeah, we were running the stove hard.
Yeah.
So while it was a beautiful campsite by a waterfall, trout in the stream, it was amazing. It's just not really worth it if you're going to stay there for a couple nights. That's the other thing too. Site selection, like if you're going to stay for one night, who cares? It's kind of what we talked about. But if you're going to be somewhere for multiple days, which that's generally how I hunt, like at least 3 days, I'll be in a spot, work in the area. And you just want to make sure you're going to be in a spot that's going to provide you, keep your tent dry. And condensation does make tents wet. And that in turn makes your gear wet. It's going to keep you warm, all that kind of stuff. So, that's my hot tip.
It could even, I would say 100%, it can even be like 3 feet. Like, this made me think about a situation from this past week where we were walking early in the morning and it was kind of like on this slope.
Oh, man, yeah.
And there was like this little tiny dip, right?
Yeah.
Just tiny dip. It wasn't even like water built up there, but it was probably at most like a 4 feet underneath the average, ground level. You got in there. It was a solid, like you felt like the wave of cold air. So, and part of that was like, it was, in a position where that little area got the shade first. So instead of being shaded for, only 10 hours at night, it's shaded for 13 hours.
Yeah.
That's a big temperature difference. So
it is. Yeah. I mean, if you've walked around in the woods this time of the year, you can definitely feel it.
Yeah.
Even if you've driven a truck, in some mountain roads, it gets real cold. You feel it a lot on like motorcycle, to be honest. Like, when you're riding and you go into a valley, you're like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Because you got the wind chill too.
Yeah.
And then you pop out just a little bit higher. Like, man, it's so much warmer.
Yeah.
It's a huge difference. I've talked with guys on the phone too. They're like, yeah, it was really nice, but then we camped down in this valley and we were just miserable. The draft, which those bottom valleys can be pretty drafty.
Yeah. When you just think about like the thermals, right? You're always conscious of thermals hunting out west here.
Yeah.
That's the cold air sinking. And if you're at the lowest spot, you're getting all the drafts coming down towards you.
And I'm not like a camp on a ridge guy. It's not like my ideal thing. I'd rather be a little bit tucked away. I definitely have camped on ridges, but a lot of times it can be warmer up higher. Yeah. If it's not that big of a difference. Yeah. I would say, you're probably ideal. Like if you even get 10 to 20 feet above the low point, it is degrees different, which,
because it's also nice being close to water, right?
5 to 10 degrees can be the difference between your sleeping bag being real freaking cold and being real nice.
I mean, that can put you over the threshold of your degree rating.
Yeah.
So
especially like if it's forecasted, let's say it's going to be 20 degrees. You got a 15 degree sleeping bag, and you're down in that valley. It could easily be 15. Yeah, if not lower.
No,
we get a lot out here too. Like when we did that duck trip. No snow on the ground, none of that, but we were camped by a river in the river bottom. It was cold that night, man.
It was
cold as hell.
Yeah. And I mean, a big part of that was just site selection in here. Yeah.
We hiked up that hill. It was like nice.
Yeah. Yeah. We were sweating.
Yeah.
It's just about being cognizant of where you're at, I mean, because usually if there's one camp spot, there's probably another one.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one thing if you're hunting areas where there's like the only spot that you can camp is on ridge lines.
I mean, it might make a difference, like in more heavily wooded areas. Luckily, most spots out west, unless you're closer to the coast, you can usually find a spot. In my opinion. What else was I going to say? I had another little tip there. It's lost me.
All
It's
right.
gone.
Well, I'll go to my number one for cold weather camping and hot tent camping tips. So the thing that I find most important, especially once it gets into November, December when it's really cold, is just keeping a dedicated pair of clothes that are comfortable clothes. Like what I'll do is sweatpants and like a hoodie or sometime, but not my hunting clothes.
Yeah.
I want to be like clean and warm, but I will just keep those in my sleeping bag. And that's my dry pair of clothes. They never leave there.
Yeah.
They don't leave the tent. That way, for two things. Number one, you're comfortable at night.
Yep.
And number two is if you get into a dangerous situation, I mean, like bring up the unfortunate situation that happened in Colorado this past week, right? I mean, there were multiple different instances of people. I mean, the two elk hunter kids got struck by lightning is what it sounds like, but
just so sucky.
Oh man, it's horrible. Heart goes out to the family. It's just such a bad situation. But there was another hunter down in southern Colorado that had to call in an SOS for hypothermia.
Yeah.
He was lucky. He kind of was lucky enough to be aware of what was happening. So he stripped his wet clothes off, wrapped himself in a Mylar blanket and a tarp.
Yeah.
Until people came. But if you have wet clothes, I mean, and the bummer with hypothermia, the scary thing about it is once you get far enough down, you lose your mental ability to know what's going on. I mean, that's the whole thing with paradoxical undressing. You eventually get to a point where you start taking your clothes off because you feel like you're hot. But if you can avoid getting anywhere close to that just by having a dry pair of clothes in the sleeping bag, it's key. And then just being comfortable at night, not having to sleep in some, if you kill something and
bloody, nasty.
Yeah, that's no good. So that's like the thing that I always take. Like earlier in this last trip, I just was like, all right, I'll sleep in my merino long johns, but later in the season, got to have that.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I almost always take a extra pair of clothes sure, it's extra weight, it's more bulk in your pack, but I think it's worth it. That's another thing. You gotta gauge what's worth it for you on these things. But for me, like, number one, I'm a bigger guy. My thighs, when they're nice and sweaty, they could stick together while I'm sleeping. So I always need some kind of fan, dude. It makes I hate being sticky and nasty. Yeah. But when you have something that dries you out, like dry clothes, that's a huge game changer. Yeah. At least for like my quality of sleep. And just having a nice dry pair, something to get into. You've had wet feet all day, all that kind of stuff. Even if you don't have your stove, even if you have your stove, wet, sweaty clothes feel wet and sweaty and sticky and nasty on you. Yeah. After a few days, So,
and if you're wearing them, if you're trying to just dry them out by wearing them, it's going to take a long time. Yeah. Like if it's one thing if you're drying them out over the stove. Yeah. But if you're just sitting back away from the stove, they're not going to dry out.
Really, the best thing you can do is have another pair of clothes and then put all your clothes that are nasty in the bottom of your sleeping bag, dry them out. That helps a lot. Yeah. Helps a lot.
Yeah. There's a guy that used to work here that I know that a couple trips that I went on with him, he would just sleep it. Like he wouldn't even change at all, ever. Yeah. Like no matter what. And it was just like, dang, I don't know how you can do this, especially with like all the zippers and stuff that a lot of the performance hunting pants have.
Oh, dude.
It's there's no way I'm sleeping with that.
Yeah, I kind of I totally get going ultralight. And obviously we work at a company that's, lightweight stuff. But I think our motto at work for our gear is lightweight. As light, the highest weight to comfort ratio you can get, right? Yeah. And that's kind of what I'm looking for as well. I'm not going to just wear one pair of underwear for 5 days. Yeah. Like forgive me for my modern, comforts.
Needing the comforts of home. Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, it does make a difference when you talk about morale, and that can be different for every single person.
Yeah.
The morale could be a little sip of whiskey before you go to bed. Could be chocolate.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, it's definitely just being comfortable and clean
Yeah.
as much as I can.
Yep. Feeling like you're at home.
Oh, dude. Yeah. Little wipe down with some wipes before you get into those clean, dry clothes that are like home clothes too.
Yeah.
They can't be like super performance hunting gear.
Yeah.
You're going to get into like, some nice
sweatpants.
Man. Yeah.
Sweatpants and a hoodie.
Yeah. It feels good.
Especially if you download some like episodes of South Park or something before you go up there.
Dude. Some Netflix. I mean, it gives you some morale, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's
good hot tip.
My number one. Yep.
Yeah. Let's see.
Just real quick while you're looking at South Park made me think. I have that. We did it. I showed it off in one of the gear dumps, but I have that Last Light power brick, and that thing is unbelievable.
Is it?
Yeah. Like this whole last week, I left the house. I didn't charge it all the way. It got up to like 85% or something like that. I charged my phone every night. I was like, this last trip was the first time I ever like downloaded a video. Yeah. Because I knew I was going to be like solo for the most part, and I didn't want to drive myself crazy. So I downloaded some South Park, and had that thing hooked up. Was using the light on the back of it. Got back home. It's at 25% after 7 days.
The little battery pack?
Hard use. Yeah.
Nice.
I was very impressed.
I took out a Jackery.
Mm-hmm.
Big battery box.
Mm-hmm.
Game changer.
Yeah. Those things are nice.
I didn't use any power hardly.
Yeah.
They're so cool.
Yeah.
Well, my other tip, my second hot tip is going to be somewhat similar here, but sweat management. Now, for me, I get very warm on climbs, and I get very cold when I'm sitting.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to manage, let's say it's, like first rifle here, it can be really cold or it can be really nice, but I'm talking more like later season stuff. You're hiking up the hill, it's cold, but you're hiking up pretty steep mountainous terrain, and you start off with a lot of gear on, which I don't recommend. I always recommend start cold to like fit into what you're wearing, because maybe first 10 minutes of the hike, you're like freezing your ass off, but after that, you're going to be comfy. And yeah, the big thing with sweat management is, well, it comes down to your clothes, number one, but two, your pace. If you take an extra 30 minutes to get somewhere than you normally would, you're going to be way less sweaty, way less tired. Just take your time. Like if you drive into the trailhead or you're, walking from camp, just take your sweet time. Don't get all sweaty. And then when you sit, you aren't going to be freezing. You might be a little crisp, throw on a jacket, as long as you're, wearing a quality sweat wicking base layer with, you have your layer system pretty
good
dialed.
layering system.
So it's kind of, I guess it's like a two-part. Really good layer system is invaluable. And then two is, just, setting the pace where you aren't blowing yourself up, sweating. Like once sweat's dripping off of your head, you've pretty much, you've kind of sealed your fate a little bit there.
Yeah, it's no good.
Like when you and I went duck hunting and it was it negative something? It was cold as shit.
Which one?
It was you, me, and Connor.
Oh, yeah.
It was like all the ice was in the river. It was negative something.
Like
it was
4 degrees or something.
Yeah, it was high. So cold. Yeah, I think I left the house. It was like -5. Duck spot was basically freezing in Fahrenheit, so quite cold. And you take off. I'm like, no, I'm not going to go sit in all this. I'm not going to go sit, especially duck hunting where you can't like move with any sweat. I'm just chilling.
Yeah. See, and I was going to say that I don't really have that problem. I don't really sweat too much, so I can definitely, I'm always aware of the sweat, but I'm lucky enough that I don't really sweat too much.
I've always been a sweater, dude. Like, once I'm moving, like mountain bike, any of that kind of stuff.
Yeah. But I always am very aware of like when I hit that threshold where it's like, okay, I'm moving pretty quickly here. I'm not hot yet, but I'm at room temperature.
Yeah.
I started off cold, had my puffy on or whatever. That's when I always unzip. I start with unzipping everything.
Yeah.
Like doing the heat dumps. A lot of the First Light pants, they all have heat dumps. A lot of the jackets, they have heat dumps in the crevices. I start there, and then if it goes beyond that and you're still hot, then that's when I usually take a second to take off a layer. But
another thing with that, just like I will stop on a climb. Like traditionally, we try and camp up there, but there's if it's later season or something, and I'm just like day hunting, I'll like drive up in the morning, from a lower elevation, and then I have like a 1,500 foot climb in the morning. I'll stop for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And just let myself completely get cold again.
Yeah.
Because it's not worth it for me. I know exactly what, like, it can be, 15 degrees, you're hiking up. I'll stop.
Yeah.
Just not, open everything up, make sure I get back to the point where I'm cold and dry, and then get going again. It's just not worth it.
Well, and like the key thing there is too, like you don't want to be hiking around and then get to a spot where you're going to be sitting.
Yeah.
And then be like, oh, I'm cold, so I'm going to have to put a jacket on.
Yeah.
Move. Yeah. Make a lot of noise with your pack. You want to try to manage it as much as possible. I mean, that's what it is. It's sweat management.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's.
Dude, another thing with that management is like, a pair of shorts like these, they're real thin, small.
Mm-hmm.
I'll take a pair of shorts like in like first season if it's warm out.
Mm-hmm.
Because where I go for first season, kind of similar thing. Big hike up. But I'll just take shorts so like I don't get sweaty before I get to camp, We'll set up camp the day before. And just take shorts that are real packable. I mean, these don't weigh anything, so it's kind of worth it.
Yeah.
Just worth keeping in mind the whole time, unless you have access to a shower. Yeah. I mean, it's just helps with the morale.
It does.
Keeps you dry.
Yeah.
Warm.
That's the theme, staying dry for this later season. It's so important.
I know. Looking at our list, there is a lot of stuff about staying dry, but it's all unique.
Yeah, for sure. I think my next one is kind of more like hot tent related.
Okay.
But it's having a plan for firewood.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it seems like early hunting like early rifle seasons, right? The snow that you get it's never dry snow now. It's always the wet, starts off as rain, just soaks everything.
Yeah.
I feel like the last 3 years for second season, like my mule deer hunts, it snowed the first weekend.
Big, heavy, wet snows. Yeah.
Yep. Big, heavy, wet snows. But then it like starts as rain.
Yeah.
And you get up to camp and everything's just soaked, right? So
disgusting.
Starting a fire with wet wood, especially if it's been like multiple days of water, it's tough. It's just tough. You got to have good fire starter and you got to do your best to find wet wood. But what I mean when I say like have a plan for wood, it's like thinking about your next, like in the morning, you're drying your firewood for the next day.
Yeah.
And so like a big thing there is collecting as much wood as you can in one session and like putting it under the stove. Even sometimes if it's super wet, you can put it up on top of the stove and it'll you'll see the steam evaporating.
You can also get like a utility tray.
Utility tray
is real nice for drying off wood and stuff, or like keeping your coffee warm or something like that.
Definitely.
That was going to be one of my tips was, let me see here.
But yeah, and then also a part of that is like trying to find, there's usually little areas where there's drier wood, right? Like if you're out here in Colorado camping in a meadow, you go into an area with some dark timber. There's usually some spots underneath that isn't hit as much with the water, so you can break off little twigs and then also trying to find anything but pine. If you can find like Gamble's oak around here, it's awesome.
Yeah,
aspen, same thing.
Yeah, so. Definitely just always planning ahead for the next day, kind of thing. Wood wise, if you can. Let's say you go up like me, day one, you go get a ton of firewood, like just commit an hour to it, prep it all, you don't have to worry about it the rest of your 5-day trip. For first rifle, you're in Colorado. You can get 5 days of wood at once. Keep the stuff that you're going to be drying inside of the tent, and then keep the rest of it underneath a tree, like that's pretty well covered.
Yeah, or a tarp or something.
Yeah, put it under your DST, something like that, and that's you're gonna have dry wood the whole time, or wood that's going to be drying, rather than every single day you're putting in work to go get wet wood. Then it snows. Then you got really wet wood.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely. That is a good idea.
And another key for me, just like at night, if you get your little kindling ball ready, your fire starter, everything ready for the morning, to where you can just like half asleep, like put it in the stove, just fire it up real quick.
Yeah.
Instead of having to like search for everything, and it just makes it a lot quicker in the morning.
How many days? This is a good question. It's not really a tip, but how many days do you think, before you go empty your stove of the ash? 'Cause for me, I feel like it depends on the year, or time of the year. But this last time I went out, I basically filled a Big Mama.
Yeah.
With ash. Like I needed to go dump it. It was, and at a certain point, it blocks the air entrance vents, which makes your stove burn a little crappier.
And it's harder to start when you have all that crap on the bottom.
Yeah. It's honestly like if you can do it every other day, I think that's money, or even every day. Yeah,
just bring it out. But it's weird. I wonder if it's something with the Big Mama and just how like big it is, and maybe you're putting bigger pieces of wood. It's more of a car camping thing, so you got cardboard and paper that you're putting in there and stuff like that. But I did notice it a little bit more this last trip. Because I had to dump it a couple times.
But we were putting in full on gas station corded wood in there and stuff, which obviously, like, you can't get one of those in a large stove, so you're gonna be putting, and those, if you're putting 3 of them in a Big Mama,
and those logs, like they burn all the way through, but they're unlike the little twigs and stuff like that, where sometimes there's like nothing left.
They just they kind of leave more of a trail, if that makes sense.
Bigger coals.
One of my buddies brought cherry wood, or like really hard wood. Man, I woke up in the morning, probably went to sleep at like 10, loaded it up. It was like way too hot for a little bit. Yeah. Woke up in the morning. There was still like hot red coals in there.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That wood is so, like, I had to dump the coals and then put a ton of water on them and stuff.
No, it's a huge difference.
Yeah.
I wish we had hardwood forests here that we could camp in, but
it's hard to get them lit up, but when they're lit, they're good.
Yeah,
they're real good. Well,
what's your next one?
Let's keep it stove related here. I wouldn't say that I'm ranking them anymore. They're
all
tips.
important.
Yeah. So condensation, single wall tent, condensation, anything. You can get condensation in your house. Campers, all that stuff. But anyways, condensation in your shelter if you're running a single wall, which I generally do. Because I'm trying to save my weight so I can have that dry pair of clothes.
Exactly.
What I recommend doing is, some guys will just wake up, go straight out of the tent, which is totally fine to do. But if you have the chance to wake up 20 minutes ahead of time, like you said, kind of roll over, get the fire started before you, start putting on all your gear and stuff. That means you're putting on warm boots, warm clothes. Morale. It's good, right? That's also burning off condensation inside your shelter. So, generally, I feel like in the evenings and in the mornings, you always get the thermal winds that come and kind of blow around your shelter a little bit. By burning off that condensation when it's dark out, it's usually when I'm going out, right? By burning off that condensation, when those thermals hit your tent, the water isn't really going to be getting on your gear if you're running without a liner.
Yeah.
Another tip for that is if you have a door screen, or you can ventilate your shelter before you leave, doing that as the sun hits it and everything, it's going to burn off the condensation really quick. Versus if you have it closed off, it's going to kind of greenhouse, or raising and lowering the shelter at night and stuff. Like if you have a Red Cliff light or a Cimarron light with the line locks, click your pull down 2 clicks when you go to bed. Ventilation, all good. And then click it up before you leave in the morning. pull your line locks up, a little bit more ventilation. Just keeps condensation off of your gear, which if you're running without a liner.
Yeah.
If you don't mind carrying an extra, half pound, a liner it's pretty foolproof, which is nice. But if you want to battle the condensation like I like to,
yeah,
it's one of those things you can't avoid it this time of year. You
Yeah.
just really can't avoid condensation.
And to be honest with you, like, I don't know, man. It's like your sleeping bag gets wet. Most of the situations I've been in, you get some condensation on it. It soaks in a little bit, maybe, but by midday, especially if the sun's out in that tent, it dries everything out.
It's if you get into like a real crappy weather situation.
Yeah,
but
the stove, and that's the thing. Like when the stove is burning, you'll see like above that stove line, there's like no condensation. And below there is.
That being said, I don't know if this happens. I mean, I've slept in Western Mountaineering for so dang long at this point, but when you wake up in the morning, is the top of your sleeping bag wet?
Yeah, it'll be like a little.
It always like moves like my sleeping bag. I always move moisture out like to the outside of my sleeping bag somehow. I don't know if I'm putting my head underneath. I don't think so, but
I think some of it is too like you're breathing on that condensation.
I'll have it just along the whole top. Yeah. But I always wake up so dry and warm in my Western Mountaineering stuff. Yeah,
I mean, I have that same situation. I think it's kind of just the same thing. It builds up on that nylon, kind of like it does on the side of the tent.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Makes sense. Yeah.
But yeah, I've never like a lot of people talk about it, ruining their stuff. I've never even come close to having condensation ruin. Like it drops a little bit on there. Is what it is.
Yeah.
Well, it'll dry out
if you correctly manage it. I mean, if you don't mind, I have another hot tip.
Hit it. Related to it.
Yeah, related to it. Since I have quite a bit, this is a really good hot tip. Honestly, if you don't want to carry a liner, like myself, and you're near wood, you can do this. Raise your shelter either like with our line lock extension kit. Or if it's a light model with the line locks on it, raise it 2 or 3 inches off the ground. Take yourself some deadfall, maybe just some wood, and create a barrier 6 inches. Here's the end of your tent. Put your barrier here. So what that is doing is the opposite. It's doing exactly what our floor liner system is doing that we have for the floors without having to bring the floor liner.
Yeah, and it's
like doing it outside. Yeah, so it's blocking drafts from getting inside your tent. So you're winning there, but it's allowing your tent to ventilate. The condensation difference is huge. I mean, we've tested that. Like I've woken up no condensation multiple nights in a row using that method versus if I seal the tent all the way down to the ground, you'll get, condensation, your breath, temperature changes, that kind of stuff. Another tip that goes in with that is all of our tents are a 2-way zipper. If you need more ventilation and it's a nice night, I bring that zipper down, find myself a slingshot looking piece of stick, stick it in between the zipper. Don't put like too much pressure, but stick it in between there. You've created another top vent on the shelter itself as well for fair weather. Those 2 things are insanely great tips for preventing condensation.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah,
condensation. It's something you got to manage. My next one is going to be bringing a dedicated fire starter, right? And finding one that you know how to use. I mean, there's lots of different ones out there. There's, like I mentioned, the goo. They have that Blackbeard gel. There's lots of them out there. Some people like to do make them at home, the coffee filters with oil or the cotton balls with Vaseline.
Dryer lint,
all that stuff.
Yeah. I
think the important thing is ensuring that it works, that you know how to use it. Because some of them are require a little bit different, you have to put them in a different way or you have to.
Some of them can be, hard to light.
Some of them can be. Yeah. I like the 2 that I like are I think it's called like Fireweed or something like that, but it's the straw essentially.
And it has
hay
that
straw.
wax almost.
It's got the wax on it.
Yeah.
break it up.
That stuff works good.
They fire up all the time. And
Yeah.
then this past weekend, I found the goo.
The goo.
And then I've mentioned it many times, but having the butane torch.
Yeah.
And this goes for like both your stove, but also if you ever, like, I've probably done like 2 or 3 fires out in the woods while I'm hunting.
Yeah.
Not a big fire guy out there, but a lot of people are. They'll build a fire out there.
I hate smelling like smoke.
Yeah.
Terrible.
I mean, yeah, I don't mind it. I just find that it's like,
Not very warm.
It's really not. No.
No.
It's like you hold your hands by it. That's good. But
It doesn't really dry out stuff. That's great.
And if you're on like a windy ridge trying to build it in the snow, sometimes it can be, you're just burning through fire starters. But if you are good at that and you're down to do that, you can make the fire out there. But just having a dedicated fire starter or just a fire starting system that you know how to use and you can master it is clutch. And making sure that, I think the key part of it is like knowing how to master it so that you're not like trying to start a fire and you're going through like 2 or 3 different fire starters, or like having to redo that a couple times to where you have to plan for that. So
I think one thing that like maybe is misconstrued about hot tenting in general is, even if it is lighter than the tent you're coming from, it's because you go with a Cimarron and a large U-turn or something, you're like 5.5 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty light. It's comparable with some dome tents, 4-season tents, easily. It's never going to truly be lighter.
Yeah.
Like, you will be bringing more stuff.
Yeah.
You know? And
good handsaw. Yeah.
Yeah, you're going to bring a saw. Well, you don't need to, but nice to have.
Mm-hmm.
Serves a couple different purposes. You're going to be bringing the fire starters, all like stuff like that, that's going to add up in weight comparatively.
Mm-hmm.
It's more the comfort that you get for the weight.
Yeah.
Is really high.
Yeah. Because it ends up being similar to like some of the other tents, and space wise, you get a little bit more, but it is, it's not like crazy weight savings.
Where you can get like quite a bit lighter is if you get in a Dyneema, medium U-turn stove, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
You can get quite a bit lighter than your normal tent, but you probably still, even then, are going to average out depending on how much extra stuff you bring.
Yeah.
To be fair, you can bring just a Bic lighter and be good at finding good fire starter.
Can.
You don't need, and if you're running a large stove and you're just doing twigs, you can usually break them over your knee, that kind of stuff. But if you're going to go super prepared, fire starters, torch, all that kind of stuff to make sure you have the fire, which is kind of more like late season in my head.
Yeah.
Then you're going to be carrying a little extra weight.
Yeah, for sure. And that's just like late season stuff anyway. I mean,
it is, man. Yeah. I mean, you're
bringing warmer clothes, bringing that extra puffy jacket.
So you're going to have more stuff in your pack that's going to be laid across your tent.
Yep.
You could get away with, dare I say it, but like if it was real early season, with a stove, you could probably get 3 people in a Cimarron with a stove if you wanted to. Mm-hmm. But late season, no way.
Yeah.
That's kind of the size, like 8 person to 4. Because, you're going to
have gear.
You're taking
trying
stuff.
to dry gear out.
Yeah.
What are you at? I think I got 2 more.
I don't even know. Let's see.
I'll hit my next one here.
Let's see.
So, late season, always bring lots of sugars. Like, I'm talking like this is the time to get your little Debbie cakes, to fire those things up, to bring all the candy. It is shocking how much, like when you're out there burning a bunch of calories, and like you feel yourself get warmer when you get like these high fat, high sugar, high calories in you. Like if you're glassing cold windy ridge and you pop an airhead in or something like that, it's crazy. You like
That's very good too.
Automatically warm up. Yeah, and it's another morale thing.
Yeah.
But I just that's something I've learned, like the jerky. I mean, you could do nuts and stuff too, but I think having the sugar is very important for that.
Yeah, definitely. Well, and like some of the stuff your body is like harder to process. So when you're really cold, it like is taking away a little bit of energy. I'm pretty sure that's what I've read. But
sounds right.
Maybe it's warming you up. I don't know. Like I said, we aren't experts.
Yeah.
Don't take anything you ever see on a podcast as fact. You take it as advice.
Yeah.
But fact, any podcast you've ever seen, it's always advice. It's not fact.
I think, but that is a known thing about if you have sugars and fats, it does warm you up. It increases your body temperature.
I was just saying in the aspect of it, like proteins are harder to break down for your body. So I don't know if it makes you colder or warmer.
Yeah. I don't know.
I heard that it makes you colder, but maybe I'm wrong.
I know alcohol makes you colder. It lowers your internal temperature, but it
makes you care less.
Makes you feel warmer.
Sweet.
What's your next one?
Next one, I got two. Number one, or this one is, I think, pretty well known, but cotton. It has no place in the woods when you're gonna get wet.
Yeah.
All that stuff.
Yeah.
It's like having gear that and that you've used.
Mm-hmm.
If it's, let's say we're gonna go on a scouting trip a week and a half before our first hunting season. I got some new gear to test out. Temperatures should be similar-ish.
Mm-hmm.
But I like knowing that, that you can trust some gear, that it's going to keep you warm, that it dries out when you're wet and cold, and that your rain jacket is actually waterproof. That's pretty, it's just preparedness that is nice to have.
Especially when it gets cold. I mean, that's when that stuff really freaking matters. I mean, this time of year, you're really looking to get through the first hour in the morning, and at night, like, you're usually fine.
Yeah.
Once it gets to November, you got a lot more time at night where if you get wet, you have a lot more time that you have to suffer through.
Yeah.
You have a lot more things that can go wrong. So yeah.
Yep.
My last one is just having planning for freezing water, right?
Can bite you in the butt so hard. It's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I would say along those lines is like boots too. Like if your boots get wet and you freaking, have them sitting in the tent, freezes, maybe gets down to 10, 15 degrees at night. Those things freeze solid. You're trying to put them on in the morning.
Terrible.
There's nothing that I think is worse than that. Like
it can be frustrating.
Oh, it's the worst.
Yeah.
I think probably twice that has happened to me.
Yeah.
Where you're like one time I had to literally, it was on that holiday celebration trip up to the Mesa with Lee that we didn't have wood in the morning and we didn't want to go out and get any.
And your boots were just dead frozen.
Frozen in the morning. I literally had to take a lighter and I was just trying to get the laces because they were frozen. And once I got the laces, but I mean, that is the worst thing that just will piss you off in the morning because it's such a simple thing. Yeah. But water as well, right? I mean,
well, water can be, I've had it where all my water is frozen.
Yeah.
And you're just like, oh man, what do I do? All the water that I stored, all that, like you have to either go melt some down or somehow warm your water up.
Which takes a long time.
It takes way longer than you think.
Yeah.
I mean, even in the dead of summer, go freeze a water bottle and go outside when it's 90, 100 degrees.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of time for that to melt out at that temp.
It's not like 5 minutes. And like the worst is because sometimes you'll get that like slush on the edge and then, it'll be water in the middle because it's like somewhat insulated. But then like you try to open up the cap of like a Nalgene or something like that and it's frozen shut.
Yeah.
And that is like, it takes a long time.
Yeah.
It takes a long time, a lot longer than you think it would take. And it just cuts into your time. And the worst is like waking up in the morning and you can't get water.
Dry mouth.
And you have to go through all these steps just to have a sip of water.
Yeah.
No fun.
Yeah. That's just electrolytes is your biggest.
Electrolytes. Yeah. Salt, sugar. Those are the two things.
If you have even better, like always dump one in your Nalgene to keep it from freezing. But if you have like one dedicated like Hydro Pack or something that you're fine putting electrolytes in so that doesn't freeze, that's also a big move. Honestly, you should just buy one, Sharpie marker on it, gonna taste like electrolytes. You know, like
just dedicate it to that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you can also, I've like wrapped it in a, if you have an extra down, like I have those down First Light booties, I could see you using those, putting your water bottle in there just to keep it insulated.
little
But
insulation.
I've wrapped them in extra clothes before.
Or sleep with it in your
Sleep with it, yeah.
Put it in the foot box of your sleeping bag.
You better make sure it's a Nalgene in that situation, or not like just a little smart water bottle that has the potential of cracking.
Yeah.
Because that's dangerous if you keep it in there. But if you have it, if you do it correctly, it'll work.
Yeah.
The thing I've never understood is like the people that like will boil water, put it in the Nalgene, and then put it in their sleeping bag. Like, doesn't that melt your freaking Nalgene?
No, I've done it.
Really?
Yeah, it's risky though.
You have to wait like a minute for it to cool down. Just put the boiling water in there.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to just instantly fry yourself.
Yeah.
But, you can. Once it's not boiling, like once it's in there, it cools down fairly quickly. But then it like gets to it. It's not linear. You know what I mean? It's very exponential how quick something cools down from boiling, and then how it stays warm for a long time.
Mm.
It does help. It's pretty dang risky, especially with down.
Mm.
Like, you're putting water in something that won't insulate if it's wet.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I've just never got that. And I feel like it just is not going to add like that much warmth.
It's surprising.
Yeah.
Yeah. I tried it. It's like adds. I mean, imagine if you're putting more warmth in a small space,
Yeah, I guess, because what I have done is like those heating pad type things, which maybe it's different. I've put those inside the sleeping bag, and they don't really do too much.
Like the hand warmers?
No, well, they make bigger ones, like the body sleeping or heating pad type thing. I mean, you could probably use like a women's menstrual heating pad if you wanted to.
Yeah. Bring the Jackery.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's definitely, it's not something that's going to make your 20-degree sleeping bag a 0-degree sleeping bag, but it might make your 20-degree sleeping bag a 17, 16 degree. So, like, if you are in that pinch, it does add just that little bit of warmth.
Yeah.
And it's not usually all night, but to get to bed. I find with, at least my sleeping bag, it's very big, it's very wide, spacious. The only thing I don't like about it, when it is very cold out, it is a 5 degree, but when it is very cold out, it takes a minute for your body heat to warm it up.
Yeah.
That's one thing I like about the stove.
Yeah.
You're warm getting in, you're warm all night.
Yeah. Such a game changer to freaking not have to be fully tucked into the sleeping bag when you're going to sleep.
Oh, dude.
Just kind of slowly, like over the
night, you just subconsciously pull yourself in. I mean, dude, this weekend I was used it as a quilt, and it was below freezing.
Yeah.
I was living good. Granted, I was on the Born Outdoors bedroll as a comforter, or as a it's very well insulated.
Yeah.
So I was fine.
Yeah.
It was the R value is insane.
Yeah. Me and my wife have a double sleeping bag, and it's like a 20 degree.
Yeah.
It's it's cheap from Walmart. It was we got it for Christmas or something like that, but I took that out solo. It's freaking awesome.
Yeah.
Like on the cot, you kind of have like, the sides fold over. So it's, it's a double sleeping bag. So, but the cot sitting there kind of creates a crease on the side. So you don't have like all this extra sleeping bag space that's cooling you down.
Yeah.
But you can like sprawl out.
That is nice.
Amazing.
That is really nice.
Yeah.
Well, for my last tip, Ryan, for a guy who does not have a first aid kit, I do carry a lot of emergency things with me. And I am getting a first aid. But my tip is, I bring more extra stuff than I should for most things. I usually have a DST tarp or a Gunnison tarp. Just, it's always in my backpack.
Mm-hmm.
Smart move. Just keeps it in there. If it's wet snow, you can get really soaked and cold. That kind of stuff. Just to get out of it for the time being. The other thing is, I always keep a lighter in my pack with that fire starter. So if I'm out, let's say you're walking across a river, like a tiny stream.
Mm-hmm.
You go into it, you trip, somehow you just fall stupid and you land all in it. Having a way to start a fire is nice.
Mm-hmm.
There's, let's see, just extras, backups, stuff like that you carry around. I bring a lot more food than this is the ultimate part of this hot tip is I bring a lot more food and I leave extra food in the truck for 2 reasons. It can snow like feet.
Mm-hmm.
It's rarer, but it can. Where we drive in, if it snows like that, you may not be getting out. And so having that extra food at the truck or having extra food with you
Mm-hmm.
is just a little bit of that, gives it a day or two to melt and gives you that little backup. Oh no, I messed up. Having this instead of you go hungry for 2 days. That sucks.
Yeah. You don't have to bring it with you in the pack or where you're camping, but it doesn't cost you anything to keep it in the truck.
No.
Couple extra meals.
No. I mean, I generally do bring an extra day
Of
of backpacking meals.
You just burn so many more calories that time of year just staying warm. So it's always, having the big meal at the end of the day, having a good solid breakfast, snacking all day. It's important. So
it is.
Yeah. Well, I mean, those are some good ones. I mean, you guys let us know what you got.
Yeah.
And especially over the course of the year.
What tips are we missing out on?
Yeah.
I mean, probably a bunch, but if there's any unique tips that you've ever used,
drop
us a comment.
Try some new ones out this year too. I mean, I feel like every year have something that I at least think I'm going to try out. Like this past year, it was the book with all the foraging stuff. Never actually worked out, but
yeah.
I always have something that I go into the heavy camping hunting season that I'm like, oh, I want to try that this year.
Yeah. I mean, I think I could spend as much time as I spend in the woods, which is quite a bit, every day for the rest of my life. And I'd still, every time I come back from a trip, be like, I could dial that in.
Oh, for sure.
Which is crazy.
Well, it's just, you never know what conditions you're going to get.
Yeah.
You just really don't.
Yeah, and you can't bring the kitchen sink.
Can't.
I mean, you can.
Unless you have an RV.
Yeah. True.
Well, cool. Well, thank you guys for joining today. And like we said, hit us in the comments. Please give us a subscription there. Like the channel, comment. Love hearing what you guys are saying. If you have questions regarding gear, drop them in the comments. Give us a call at the Seek Outside customer service line. You'll probably talk to one of us or Connor.
Sorry if you talk to Connor. We just had to hire him.
Had to do it.
Felt bad for him.
Hopefully he doesn't listen to this podcast. We just talk so much shit about him without him knowing. Nah.
He listened the other day about the hunting the rifle stuff.
Oh yeah. He's the initiator. We wouldn't be talking this much shit if he didn't.
He's worked here, what, 2 years now?
I don't know.
2 years.
The first interaction I ever had was Connor. Was we had the basketball hoop at the old spot.
Yeah.
And he was I think he was a seam sealer, which a lot of our seam sealers are kind of more seasonal students and stuff like that.
Yeah.
He was hanging out with them. And I think I was just shooting hoops out front, like during lunch or something. And he it was like a old, white men can't jump, just came up to me and freaking challenged me to a one-on-one game. And he was very confident. I was like, oh man, am I going to get smoked by this kid? Beat him 7-1.
Oh yeah.
Didn't even score on me. Barely.
Well, and then he'll tell you that my friend will be here.
I love you, Connor.
Yeah.
All right. You guys take it easy. Have a good one.
Peace.